LCB Banks.
Are you good with him? Like,
I wouldn't say good friends with him, but I know him.
did you ever, when you were doing the voiceovers, were you ever at the same time?
Yeah, we were. I had to check him. I almost checked him one time. Kind of went too far with the language a little bit, and I had to just give him one of those looks like, what you say? But other than that, we have a good rapport. I hear he's in New York doing his MC Chris thing still. A lot of people hate on him. I don't know what it is. I think he pissed some people off or something.
My friend was at that.
It's kind of a what?
Kind of a bitch.
Really? You know him?
No, I mean, like, I'm on his page or whatever. It's like, calm down, dude. Like, cool. Like, nobody hates you.
No, some people hate him maybe because of what you said. I don't know.
Kind of whines a lot. My friend said when you met him, he sounds just like a TV. Like,
Yeah, that's his voice. He talks like that all the time. I call him DJ Wonder Bread. You know what I'm saying? He's cool though. He's a cool dude, and you know, I still like the Candy song. I got that on my playlist. The Candy, Bubbly with Taffy. He's a brilliant little writer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did the thing, and then we had the late great, rest in peace, Clay Croker, who was part of the show. He actually designed Frylock and Meatwad. Clay Croker did.
Oh.
And he passed away in the mysterious circumstances back in 2016. I was trying to get him on the Welcome to the Wayne show too. I was talking to the guy who created it. I was like, you need Clay on here too? He's like, well, I don't know. And then when Clay died, he's like, man, I should have got him on the show. I was trying to get him on the show. Voice of Zorak, Dr. Weird, and Steve, as well as Moltar and all these Space Ghost.
I was talking about
this guy, he saved my butt in a panel once at Dragon Con. Me and some other voice actors were on this panel, and it was all about Cartoon Network. And every question, almost 80 to 90% of the questions, Clay had to field because we didn't know the answers to them. People were asking about the inception of Cartoon Network, and Clay was right there, and he would answer all these questions about stuff. And I was like, and everybody at the panel was like, man, you saved our asses because we didn't know none of this stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure, definitely was the last person to find out that Aqua Teen was canceled. Definitely. But you remember the live action one that they did?
Yeah.
With T-Pain as Frylock and H. John Benjamin as Shake. But this comes from Dana Snyder. Master Shake himself was like, Carey, you know we were supposed to be in that. I was like, what? What are you talking about? He was like, yeah, Dave Willis told me that they were going to do a live action episode, and you were going to play Frylock, and I was going to play Shake. And so Dana, being Dana, kept calling Dave Willis. When are we going to shoot this thing? When are we going to do it? And Dave Willis is like, we kind of already did. He's like, what are you talking about? You already did it. He was like, yeah, we cast T-Pain as Frylock and H. John Benjamin as you. But of course, he was still the voice of Meatwad as an exercise ball. And recently on social media, I think it was Instagram or something like that, J. Wade Edwards, who was pivotal in the production of the show. He directed all the behind the scenes movies and like Terraphone and all this stuff. He did a lot of stuff with Aqua Teen. He posted some pictures on Instagram recently about that episode. They showed T-Pain and they showed the interior of the house and everything. And I just made a comment, I was supposed to be a part of that myself. Wink, wink, wink. So yeah, that was right after they gave T-Pain all that money for the, what is that, auto-tune thing that he didn't invent, but they gave him all this money for it. And I distinctly remember going to the studio and bitching about that to Matt and Dave. I was like, you believe all this money they just gave T-Pain for this thing that he didn't even invent? This auto-tune thing? And they kind of looked at me like, in other words, they were like, well, we just gave him a bunch of money to play you. But I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know it at the time, and I found out later, obviously. And apparently we were canceled then. That's why they call it the last one, forever and ever. If you look on the DVDs, they call it the last one because they thought that was it. And so I found out at a panel at DragonCon one year, we were all on this panel, right? Everybody from Aqua Team was on this panel. This young kid stands up and goes, how did you feel that time you were canceled? And I looked at him, I was like, when was we canceled? And Dave Willis goes, next question. And I'm like, but you know, that was then. This is now a decade and a half of doing the show. A lot of people ask me, why is the show still on? I was like, that's up to the fans. You know what I'm saying? If enough people keep bugging Adult Swim, maybe they'll put us back on, or maybe they'll sell us to Netflix or something. Adult Swim owns the rights to the show. I'll never forget when I found out we were actually done, cancel. I was in the booth, I was in the studio recording an episode of Aqua Teen, as we often do, and they waited till after I was done recording to tell me. There would have been a whole different recording session had I got the news before I walked into the booth. Why this son of a Frylock would have been very raw. But they were smart enough to wait till after I was done. I come out and they go, okay, we got something to tell you. I was like, what is it? We're canceled, we're being canceled. I was like, what, why? Oh, we don't know, they knew at the time, but they didn't tell me. But I found out later from Clay Kroger. Clay Kroger told me the whole story. But anyway, that's another story. I don't really talk about it.
What was it though? They didn't really tell us. They just said it's canceled. They didn't really, can you let us know as Aqua Teen fans like why it actually did get canceled? Was it like disagreement?
A bunch of crap. Political hubris. That's all I have to say. Involving the upper echelon of Adult Swim and maybe one or two of the creators. That's all I have to say about it. It was a bunch of crap. It wasn't ratings. It wasn't the fan base. It wasn't anything of that nature. It was just political BS. And that's all it was, man. You know? So when they told me this, they're both standing right in front of me. I just came out the booth, right? They're like, we're canceled. I was like, oh, I know what we can do. This is me telling them. We can go to another network, like Futurama or Family Guy, and they want us back. They looked me dead in my face and said, we don't own it. I just wanted to do a Mo Howard, just go, bam! I wanted to, but I didn't. But it's a situation. You remember when Prince had to fight to get his name?
Right.
It was a similar situation. Now Prince was 17 when he signed the contract with Warner Brothers.
Right.
Can you imagine? You're 17 years old. You're sitting there, and they put a contract on your face like this. Okay, kid, you're great. We're gonna get you that new car. We're gonna get your mom a new house. Just sign right here. Your brother. Don't worry, I'll read it right now. Just sign it. Then Prince says, I want to break off. I want to go and do my own thing. Oh, well, you can't use the name Prince. We own that. He's like, what? What are you talking about? Remember that contract you signed when you were 17? Gotcha. So I'm thinking it was a similar situation. They were so excited about getting the show on, they didn't realize that they were signing away the rights to the characters that they created, which we're over in Australia and the UK now. The year we got canceled, they started airing the show in Australia. So there's an Adult Swim Australia that airs Aqua Teen on a regular basis. And that and the fact that there's no commercials. Each episode is like 12 minutes long. No sponsors. No residuals, no sponsorship. Oh, they still, I saw that episode the other day. I was at a con. I was in my hotel room at 5 in the morning. I'm getting ready to go to the airport and the Boost Mobile episode comes on. I was like, look at this. A lot of people look down on us for that one. And I was like,
where you at?
I ain't got nothing to do with that, you know. I remember we did a bunch of voicemail messages for Sprint once, and the Sprint executives were in the studio. I want you to sound like this one, Carey. So I look at the Sprint executives and go, can I get a phone out of this? And they were like, no. No, you can't have a phone. I was like, okay, screw Sprint. Anyway, back here. Yeah, go ahead.
I was actually wondering what his favorite episode to do voice acting.
My favorite episode of Aqua Teen?
Yeah, what was your favorite episode?
Super Birthday Snake.
Love that one.
B.Y. wants a pet. He wants a bunny. But instead of a bunny, Shake orders a snake.
Yeah.
B.Y. names him Nathan Scott Phillips and staples some ears to his head. He gets devoured by Shake. by the snake, and so does Shake. Frylock blows them all to hell, and even kills Carl. I mean, come on. Frylock gets all pimped out, man. How could that not be my favorite episode? I would say the line, but there's youngsters in here, why don't you bring over a couple of, put a cigarette out your damn eye. Oh, you want some too, Carl? I do it to you too.
Do you remember working on the, it was like the one where Frylock had to get a minimum wage job or something?
Oh
like
yeah,
like
he created the robot babysitter chick.
I don't know,
they were working in the mall.
Yeah.
They had the hairnets on. And Kevin said we're going to get those.
I remember that.
Slickers. Yeah, life imitates art a lot. In my life, anyway. These episodes, it's not like when they record Family Guy, they sit around, or The Simpsons, they sit around and record 10 episodes and go home and wait on 10 checks. It's like, I'll be lucky if I record an episode. I could say, if I recorded one tomorrow, it would be maybe 6 months before they record another one. So, I don't know about y'all, but I don't know no landlord or no power company that's gonna wait 90 days for you to pay them. So I had to get a day job. I had to go out and hustle in Atlanta, working in dish pits and all that kind of crazy stuff. Hey, is it true that Frylock is back there washing the dishes? Yeah, hey Frylock. Yeah, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I got tater tots to feed, literally. Well, 3 cats and a wife, but I would say 4 cats. But anyway, but I digress. Yes? What was the funniest episode? It had to be Dick episode to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. I don't know how we got away with that to this day. I mean, even the rainbow pixelated version, Wahlberg was still. He still was. I mean, you look at him. It was crazy, man. It was a hell of a ride. I wish it never ended, but it did. But like I said, who knows? If they brought back the Connors or Roseanne or whatever it was.
One political mistake.
You bury yourself. Hey, words can bury you. I mean, really, look at Kramer from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How could you not know somebody's in the audience filming you, dude? That's the world we live in. Hi. Filming right there.
Yep.
So yeah, man, it's a crazy, mixed up, topsy-turvy world we live in. And I feel who I pray for a lot is the kids. Kids in school. When I was going to school, you didn't have to worry about getting shot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there was a bully or two. You know what I'm saying, that you had to deal with, but as far as not knowing if you're gonna come home from school. What? When I was in high school, it was like TSA. This is the 80s. A wine would come. That was my high school in St. Louis. And I was like, they need to do that in school. They need to have the wine, the metal detectors, and all that stuff. What are you doing wearing a trench coat? It's May, Henry. You know what I'm saying? Come on. It was like, what was that? Beverly Hills Cop, and they're in the strip club, and the guy comes in, why is he wearing a trench coat? It's July. That's the first red flag. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I mean, hey, I get nervous, man. It's nuts out here. It's a crazy world, you know? But anyway, anybody got any other questions? Yes.
I was just wondering, what was your most favorite and funniest line you ever said as Frylock?
Probably the one where I talked about I'll put a cigarette out in your damn eye. Or a couple of females. That's the one I like. Or here's another one I often write on autographs from time to time. We are Soviet King. We, Todd, Ed, say a little faster. You say funny thing. I actually saw somebody driving a truck that called himself the Sofa King. And he had that on the back of his truck. I am Sofa King.
I get it.
I said this to Dave Willis. I'm sure you
got that.
So, yeah. That's the top two.
Some of your voiceover like mentors that you already have any? Because I know there's some voice actors like Mel Blanc, for example.
Mel Blanc is my hero. Growing up, I have a pet rabbit. His name is Bugs.
Hell yeah.
Carrots. When I found out that just one guy did all these voices, I was like, man. And you know, funny thing, a little anecdote about Mel Blanc, he knocked on the Warner Brothers Studios doors for like 3 years. He just kept going back. Y'all need any voice talent? No, slam. Y'all need any voice talent? No, slam. Finally, the guy who slammed the door in his face all those times finally died.
Oh.
Why does it always get a laugh? It always gets a laugh. Every time I say that, it never fails. I was just waiting on the laughter. There it goes. The guy finally died. He was slamming the door in Mel Blanc's face, and the guy that took his place was like, okay, kid, come on in, let's see what you got. And the next thing you know, he started working. But Bugs Bunny was not the first character he did. The first thing he did for Warner Brothers was a drunk Toreador or bull or something like that. And he had to figure out how to do that. And Bugs Bunny wasn't the first character he did after that. It was Porky Pig was the first character. And he went to a pig farm and wallowed around with the pigs I guess he found a stuttering pig. Or something, I don't know. I guess he found a stuttering pig. It was like, oh, idiot, you know. What? You might say something? I thought you had your hand up. Yes.
All right. First of all, it was a comment and then a question. I was asked to be a guest here at Planet Home, and I was honored to be listed along with you.
Oh.
Being a huge honor to me, so it's nice to be
Cool.
But
What do you do?
we're YouTubers. We're Lego YouTubers. So we're manning the Lego shop.
Hey, I have a YouTube channel. Yeah. I don't have many subscribers. Probably not nearly as many as you do.
We're not that big.
Wait a minute. Your YouTube channel is Legos?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of Lego stuff. But it's like...
You got y'all set up here?
Yeah, we're the Brickhead family.
Ah, the Brickhead. That's a cute name.
Yeah, thank you. My question, though, is I see that a lot of the Adult Swim people get asked to do other shows within Adult Swim. Have they ever approached you, like, pretty good film hell or anything like that?
I think Dave Willis auditioned me for that show. I think he did, because I was recording for our team one time. He comes in the booth and goes, okay, Carey, I want you to pretend like you just pushed somebody off a building and then laugh about it. I guess I didn't get it. Funny other story related to that though. I thought I was auditioning for every character on Squidbillies. They had me come in and read for each and every single character for Squidbillies. What I found out later was they were using me as a scratch. They were using me to let Dana and everybody else know how these characters should sound. That's the only explanation I come up with. They're like, okay, now read for Early. Now read for Early's son. Now read for the Reverend. Now read for Granny. Now read for the Sheriff. And I did this like repetitively, over and over and over and over again in the booth. And I was like, I gotta get one of these. And oddly enough, I'm not on Squidbillies, so that had to be it. I was like, they gotta be using me as a scratch for these characters, because that's a showbiz term as to how a character should sound. They'll play a sample of the voice for you and okay, I want you to do it like this recording right here. So it was a really weird relationship, but no, they haven't tapped me for any other.
Being with them for so long.
Well, you would think. My phone don't ring.
You guys were the staple.
My phone don't ring from Adult Swim no more. No, it don't. I don't know why, man. I guess they sick of fries. What is it back there?
I was just wondering how you don't get paid for that. That seems completely...
Probably because there were no commercials. That's a good way to get around it. And number two, Ted Turner got some hell of lawyers. You know? That's really how they got around the residual thing. There's no sponsors, no commercials for the show. And it's a non-union gig, a non-SAG gig, and I live in the right to work state.
Yeah.
If you know what that means, Georgia is a right to work state. That's why you see so many well, maybe not for much longer, but this abortion bill, it just got passed. That's why they film a lot of movies and TV shows there, because it's a right to work state. There's no unions proper for actors like New York or LA. That's probably that's a major reason why David Snyder moved out to LA, so he could get in the SAG and stuff like that. I actually had a fellow voice actor tell a panel full of people that he was going to get me in the SAG. That didn't happen. David Soloff, anyway. That's his name. But, you know, because he's supposed to be on some type of board of directors. I don't have $50,000 laying around. Maybe if this weekend goes well.